Good evening and welcome to 27 Minutes here on WJTS 27. I'm Kurt Gutgsell. As part of the Old Tannenbaum Days in downtown Jasper last weekend, there was a live nativity scene at the relocated barn on 4th Street. Bob Huddleston brought in camels for the event.
Okay, do they have names?
Delilah and Samson.
Okay, and how old are they?
Approximately 5 years old.
Okay. So they're still rather young? They get
Yes, they'll double in weight.
Okay. And how long do they normally live?
They'll live 25, 30 years.
And they do okay in this kind of weather up here north, right?
They love snow and hate rain.
Okay. Right. And basically what do they eat? And
They're like a goat. They love weeds, leaves, rough hay.
And hard to take care of? Are they good or bad? Or
Easy to take care of.
Okay. And you really enjoy taking care of them?
We have 6 of them.
6 of them? Is that all you raise then, or do you raise other animals as well?
We raise a lot of other animals.
Okay. What kind of animals?
Well, we raise 7,000 pheasants, foxes, zebra, miniature horses, and donkeys.
Okay. And the camels, which of all those are the easiest to care for?
They're easy to care for, but when you have a lead rope on an animal that weighs 3,000 pounds, you're kind of at his mercy.
Okay.
These are young camels.
Okay. And when they get older, do you still hold on to them, or do you?
We do.
Okay.
If they get a little bit unmanageable for me, we sell them to places that ride them.
Oh, okay.
It's now time for Dinner Made Easy.
Today we're zesting up the old chicken salad with an unlikely ingredient, margarita mix. This non-alcoholic mix adds just the twist to make this meal a delicious surprise, and it's on the table in just 30 minutes. First, I'm going to make the dressing for this salad. In a bowl, I'm adding my margarita mix, olive or vegetable oil, and white wine vinegar. And whisk until blended. This is what we'll use for drizzling over the individual finished plates. This salad can't be easier or prettier. These chicken breasts are basted with some of this dressing and grilled. Okay, in a large bowl, add salad greens, the chicken, some strawberries. Toss and plate this up. Now arrange some mango and avocado slices around each salad. Pineapple or grapefruit work fine here too. Just have fun with this dish. Sprinkle with a little chopped cilantro for a kick of flavor, and drizzle with a little remaining dressing. And look at this, a tangy and refreshing Southwestern-inspired meal with the surprising flavor of margarita mix.
It's now time for a WJTS 27 Health and Home Update.
Family life is often so busy, it's hard to find time to spend with friends and loved ones. But today we are joined by Lauren Dean. She is a mother of 2 and the author of the new cookbook, Kitchen Playdates. Lauren has some great ideas to help get everyone involved in enjoying some great food and some good quality time. Hey Lauren, welcome to the show.
Hi, ready for a play date?
Oh, you bet I am. And Lauren, I have to know, how did you come up with the idea for a kitchen play date?
Well, it really came out of a necessity that happens when you become a parent. You want to see your friends, you want to see your family, but you just don't want to have everybody over and order tired pizza. So I had everyone come at 3, bought some of the food, made some of the food ahead of time, and left a cooking project for everyone to get involved with because they wind up in the kitchen anyway, so why not have some fun?
Why not indeed? So tell us, what projects do you have for us today?
Well, I have a lot. In the book, there are 10 playdates. I'd love to share 3 tips with you today on great playdates. The first one is a spice playdate, which it gives the kids a sense of a big world that's out there and, you know, what kind of exotic journeys you can take on the table. So there are different spices. It learns that spices aren't spicy. They can do a craft project, which has you take some glue and you can write your name or draw pictures, and they can use all the spices, and that's really fun. And then I serve a snack that they help make also at the beginning, which are crunchy garbanzo beans, and those are equally sort of exotic. We talk about the beans and where they come from, and then we just have them rinse off the can, dry them up, toss them with olive oil, and roast them at a really high heat with salt and pepper. I like to use a little fresh rosemary in there also, and serve them with grated Parmesan cheese, and they're just addictive and delicious. And the other plus is they're a vegetable, and beans have more fiber and more protein than any other vegetable. So while we're having our snack and our play date, I am getting in some of that good food that my family really needs.
Well, sounds like an easy way to sneak a little nutrition into your menus, right?
Right, and they're a last-minute snack. You can keep them in the pantry, and that way you can have a last-minute play date. It doesn't have to be as, elaborate or overwrought. And some of the play dates are really pragmatic with a bit of style, like this chili right here. Because I have a dinner swap play date where I have a girlfriend or a neighbor, one of the husbands is a great cook, and we come over, we make a double batch of a big main course, we divide it up, and then we have 2 versions of dinner for our freezer, and then we have an extra pot of chili, and everyone comes over, and this is chocolate chili, which really gets everyone's attention because they think they're having dessert for dinner. So this is really healthy too. It has turkey and black beans and zucchini, and then I do a kind of serving topping bar with grated cheese and sour cream, and then of course I let them sprinkle a little bit of chocolate on top just to kind of bring home the message. And this is really delicious, and it's based on a Mexican mole or a type of flavoring that really changes your average dinner.
Well, definitely it does, and it sounds like there's something for everyone. I mean, who doesn't love chocolate, right?
Right, who doesn't love chocolate? And the idea is for everyone to be involved. It's not just dumbed down for kids. And there's head notes, which what kids in the kitchen note, what kids can do, and how they can help you. And they can really help you at the next play date, which is really very close and dear to my heart. It's the video play date. And this is to take that cherished recipe from your grandmother or your sister-in-law who has the best cookies and videotape them and document how do you make that? Because they kind of leave something out sometimes. Either they forget or they just, you forget you do things naturally and you forget to add that ingredient. You can videotape it. You can take digital pictures and make a holiday recipe calendar. And I make one of the recipes here that I designed has a really great hearty baked gratin, which is sausage and beans and kale and butternut squash.
Well, those sound like some great and easy ways to really get everyone in the kitchen. Lauren Dean, thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks for having me.
For more information, visit hhrtv.com/kitchen.
It's hard to believe, but the holidays are creeping up on us once again. I recently had the pleasure of meeting with toy expert Sheila Gilliland, who tells us what hot ticket items are sure to be on everyone's list this holiday season. Well, Sheila, welcome to Health and Home Report. It's great to have you with us today.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Okay, so eToys. I know we have a whole group of toys that are really hot and also going to put some smiles on faces this holiday season, right?
That's right. We brought some of the hottest holiday toys, and as we talk about them, we're also going to talk about safe play tips to keep your child safe in your home this holiday season.
Okay, very important, so let's get right into it.
Sounds great. These are the shining stars. These are soft, cuddly little animals. As you can see,
so cute.
I have an elephant. That's the horse. Yeah. There's a little frog. Each toy comes with a little tag that has a code on it, so your child can go online, take the code, and register his or her shining star. And then you can actually name a constellation, a star within a constellation after your shining star.
Wow.
And once you do that, it opens up a virtual site that's safe and secure for children, and they can play all kinds of online games and interact with their shining star online.
That's terrific. So not only soft and cuddly, but interacting on the computer, and again, I noticed.
That's right. There's a little star right here, and basically that indicates that your star is part of the International Star Registry.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah.
Sounds great. All right, moving right along.
This is the My Twin personalized doll. This is our sister company, My Twin. As you can see, this is a beautiful 23-inch play doll. It's fully posable. Yeah. High quality hair. Beautiful high quality face that's hand painted. The thing is, it's a personalized doll, and personalized gifts are very hot this season.
Okay.
So you basically give us some information about your child, eye color, hair color, skin tone, and send us a picture, and then we actually handcraft this beautiful doll to look like your child. It's a very memorable holiday gift.
Wow, great for a little girl. And are school photos okay?
School photos are actually perfect. That's a great question. Anything that shows your child good head and shoulders and a good picture of their face.
All right, good to know. All right, so the animals, the dolls, and we have I think a classic over here.
A classic train set. You know, I think everyone remembers probably your little brother getting a train set on Christmas morning. This is the Yukon Express train set. It comes in all different types. This is the 100-piece. There's also a 60-piece train set and a 200-piece train set. You can configure it in a number of different ways. And this is for kids ages 3 and up. You wouldn't want to give it to a younger child because there are small parts which could be a choking hazard.
Right.
So this is a lot of fun classic toy.
And hours of fun there, right? With the houses and the animals, everything.
Exactly.
All right, very cool. Moving right along, we have another setup. Looks like we have some real interactive stuff over here.
Yeah, these are great interactive toys. This is a My Real digital camera for kids ages 3 and up. As you can see, it's very sturdy, has great hand grips. And then on the back it has dual viewfinders, so your child can use both eyes, and very simple controls, so your child doesn't even have to read. You can see the pictures in the viewfinder, and you can also upload your pictures.
Oh, very exciting. Okay, now something looks like boys might like.
Yes, now pick up this helicopter. You can see how light it is. This is the reflex helicopter. You can actually use it indoors. You want to make sure that you have plenty of space so you don't damage the furniture. But let's get it started. You can see. Woohoo! Yes.
All right.
It really is amazing. It goes forwards, backwards. It can move in all kinds of different directions. You just need a little practice to get good at it.
Practice is good. And last but not least,
yes, Hannah Montana is the hottest thing in music for kids, and here she comes.
Oh, here she comes. Oh my goodness.
So this is the Hannah Montana doll with the Hannah Montana musical stage. The doll is a great gift for girls ages 6 and up, and the stage for girls ages 8 and up, and it plays Hannah Montana music, and you can actually hook in your MP3 player or iPod to play even more of your favorite music.
All right, well that's just awesome, and again, great for girls, something for kids, all ages, boys, girls, and a lot of great stuff. So
a little bit of everything.
So glad to have you with us today. Thank you.
Great to be here.
Find hot toys and tips from the eToys Safety Center at hhrtv.com/toys.
Stay tuned. We'll have more 27 minutes right after. Welcome back. Mike Cruz of the Lincoln State Park gives us a tour of the Colonel Jones home.
Welcome to the Colonel William Jones home. I'm Michael Cruz. I'm the head interpretive naturalist here at Lincoln State Park and Colonel William Jones home. This home was built in 1833. Abraham Lincoln worked here in 1828, from 1828 to 1830. The Lincolns left in 1830. When Abraham Lincoln came back again in 1844, he was able to stay in the house. He actually slept in this house with Colonel William Jones. Colonel William Jones was a merchant, a farmer, a banker. He was a state congressman. He did just about anything that you would do as an entrepreneur coming up in the young United States. The Colonel Jones home was built in 1833. Abraham Lincoln worked here for Colonel William Jones. He also came back in 1844 and campaigned for Henry Clay for the presidential campaign. It's a federal style house, as you can see by the symmetry of the house, but it also has some Greek revival accoutrements, as you can see towards the post. The house was rebuilt in 1979 by Bill and Gail Cook, and it is a nearly exact replica of the way it was built in 1833. Folks can come out here by appointment. You can call the park office, 937-4710. We can set up an appointment for your group, and you can take a tour of the house. In the summertime, we leave it open on weekend hours, and folks can just walk up and have a tour of the house and understand a little bit about Colonel William Jones and his relationship with Abraham Lincoln. Colonel William Jones was a Whig. In his politics, Abraham Lincoln eventually became a Whig before he was a Republican. Most of the people around here were Jacksonian Democrats. So the politics of the time was conservative Jacksonian Democrats versus the more progressive Whigs, and Abraham Lincoln spent part of his political career as a Whig. The interesting part about this house is you can fold it in two, and it's almost exactly the same. You've got 2 chimneys, 2 windows, 2 door lights, 4 posts. Everything's the same. It's very symmetrical. The unusual part about this house is the widow's walk on the roof. That's something you would normally find along the ocean or on the coast. Widows would walk along the top of that looking for their sailors, their husbands, which were sailors, and oftentimes their ships would not return, which made them widows. So you would find this widow's walk along the coast. But having it out here in the middle of the Indiana frontier is very unusual, and we're not sure why that happened, other than Colonel Jones probably just climbed up to his widow walk and looked over his domain here in southern Indiana. We're standing in the formal parlor of the Colonel William Jones home. This is where the Joneses would have met their guests and entertain their guests. What we have here is a harvest table and a buffet or a sideboard. Most of the furniture in here was removed. The antique furniture was removed in the late 1990s or early 2000, and it was replaced with replicas. Very similar furniture of what the Joneses would have had, but it's a replica, so folks can come in here and touch and move, and the kids can touch moving parts, and you don't have to worry about destroying priceless heirlooms. So that has helped us out, and it helps us out with school groups, so the young kids can come in here and we don't have to worry about them tearing up the heirlooms. It's a great opportunity for young children to come in and live in an 1830s home without worrying about tearing up some of the antiques. Colonel Jones at one point was said to have entertained 20 to 25 people in this house. He probably had a large banquet table and probably kept them right here in this house while the servants or the folks that were serving them came from the kitchen on the back side of the house and brought the food into here. Now we're standing in the family parlor of the Colonel William Jones home. And this is where most of the family would have spent most of their time. We have the rope bed here with the trundle bed underneath. We have the day bed to the side. And this is pretty much where most of the family would have stayed. They would have spent their cold winter nights with only 9 hours of daylight. They would have played games with the toys. They would have done needlework, spinning, sewing, anything that pioneer families needed to do. Colonel William Jones married to Rachel Auskins. They had 5 children together, 5 boys, and they all lived in this home at the same time. The Joneses also adopted 2 nieces and a nephew of Rachel Auskins, and they lived in this house temporarily as well. The Joneses lived here from 1833 to 1851, about 18 years. Now we're standing in the kitchen of the Colonel William Jones home. In a large kitchen, most folks today would enjoy a large kitchen like this. The only problem is there are no appliances. The only appliances in this kitchen are basically the hearth and the fireplace. That's where all the cooking was done. And most of the time, the cooking was done in this house. The Joneses would have used a summer kitchen when it was very, very hot, and they would have done a lot of their cooking outside. But probably 7 or 8 months out of the year, most of the cooking was done here. The second major appliance probably is this pie safe, and the Joneses and the pioneer families would have used a piece of equipment like that to store their food, to keep it away from the flies, the dogs, the cats, the goats, and the geese, and whatever else might be running through the house at the time. So this is a very important piece of equipment. And the pie safe is also a replica, so we use it sometimes, and we can open it and manipulate it. Even though it looks like it's an antique, it's actually a replica. Part of the architecture of this house has the symmetry of the windows. Everywhere there's a window, there's another window. Everywhere there's a door, there's another door. And part of the use of that was so they could get cross breezes. So when it's 95 degrees and they didn't have air conditioning, they could open up the doors, the windows, and have cross ventilation, which kept fresh air and it kept a little bit cooler. Still would have been warm, but would have kept it quite a bit cooler. Of course, if you open the windows and the doors and cook inside, you're going to have flies. And again, you're going to have cats and dogs and all kinds of animals running around. So that was sort of an interesting part of the 1830s that a lot of people don't remember or can't conceptualize in their own minds. Most of the equipment we're looking at here are actually antiques, but there are some replicas. The spice rack is actually a replica, and most of the other artifacts are antiques. These were the types of things that they would use in the kitchen. There were no microwave ovens. The dishwash gourd, or the loofah squash, as most people call it, that's what they used to scrub and scour their kitchen equipment as they were cleaning. They could also use that for a wash rag. upper middle class family. He was not terribly wealthy, but definitely upper middle class, as judging by the brick house. Most people in the community at the time were living in a one-room log cabin, or at least a wooden house.
Stay tuned. We'll have more 27 minutes right after. In sports, Jasper Basketball is 2-0 heading into tonight's game with Evansville Memorial. Jasper beat Mount Carmel 88-79 last Saturday night. Wildcat coach John Goebel on the win over the Golden Aces, and tonight's matchup with Memorial.
You know, we're happy with the intensity and the emotional level we brought. They came ready to play and, you know, played with a lot of aggressiveness and intensity.
It looked like you had some different guys score the basketball, and that has to be pleasing, you know, to spread around a little bit.
Yeah, you know, it makes it difficult for a team to come in and say that there's a certain person they need to stop for us. But you know, Derek Messmer got off to a hot start, and Andy Knies filled in a little bit later. And then at different times we had people step up and hit big buckets. So anytime you can have people step up at times like that, it's good for you.
What are you trying to work on the most right now as you head into Game 3?
Well, we're talking a lot about defense this week. You know, with 5 minutes left in the game, Mount Carmel had 58 points, and they scored 20 points in the last 5.5 minutes. And a lot of that was because they hit some really tough shots, but a lot of it was because we gave them some pretty good looks. So a lot of defensive breakdowns and rotations we've been talking about.
Take a look at Memorial, the team you're going to play here on Friday night. What have you seen out of them when scouting and watching on tape?
When you talk about Memorial, you have to first talk about Kyle Kirk. You know, he's signed with Louisville. He's one of the best players in the state. He's a legitimate Indiana All-Star candidate, and he's averaging 32 points after 2 games, and didn't even play in the fourth quarter against Boonville. So you know, he's an outstanding basketball player, and you have to deal with him. But the biggest thing about Memorial this year is they have some other kids they put on the floor that have been playing varsity, some of them for 2 or 3 years now, and they're experienced. And Coach Rick Wilgus has been around a long time, and they're very disciplined and fundamental, and they're actually getting up the floor a little bit this year. And so we just have a lot of things to worry about with Memorial.
How are they on defense?
You know, they're just like on the offensive side on defense, they're very well skilled. They're very disciplined. They move their feet and their hands, and they communicate, and they put full court pressure on you a little bit now, and so that's a lot of things to worry about.
Obviously, you want to get 2 wins this weekend, but what's the main focus going back to back for the first time this season? You know, with a double weekend.
Well, our goal as a team, when we talk, we want to get better each game, and it's one game at a time until tournament time, and you use each game as a tune-up and as a way of seeing what you need to work on, and hopefully at the end of the year you're clicking on all cylinders. And so we haven't really talked too much about this being a back-to-back weekend. We're just going to play Friday and Saturday night and see what happens.
All right.
Coach Goebel and the Wildcats will cap off the weekend with a trip to the Hawks Nest in French Lick to take on Springs Valley tomorrow night. Other games tonight: Tell City is at Southridge, Lagodi is at Forest Park, and Northeast DuBois will visit Orleans. This will wrap up this edition of 27 Minutes here on WJTS 27. For the entire crew, I'm Kurt Gutgsell. Have a great night.